Hi, everyone. I just wanted to kind of go over a couple of things. So, your media collage and your media collage outline are 100% interlinked. So, the outline is going to provide you information specifically to the media choice that you selected, whether that's a show or a movie or what have you. So, all of these examples are ways to help you incorporate the components into your design. Now, although I'm giving you individual feedback, I want to make sure that we are all kind of talking the same. So the topics, like I've discussed on multiple times, is like the topics would be either your chapter or a subsection of your chapter with multiple areas underneath it. So for an example, dating and mate selection, and then you might pick out certain terms in that section regarding your movie, right? Or gender roles in the family, and or sex and sexuality. All of those are topics that you'll be covering. Now you can go through and then now you're going to provide a definition, right? Or a vocabulary term and then an example of how. And so on your PowerPoint, it will have somewhere on it the topic that you're covering. So whether that is a slide, like an intro slide with like love and loving relationships, and then your next slide would be Kate and Greg's marriage, right? And then you would talk about the consummate love. You would talk about how Kate and Greg exhibit or display or their examples of that, right? And then you would show an image, like a Google image of that from that movie or from that show, outlining what your connection is. Same thing would continue to happen throughout. So how you want to do that is multiple ways. You could have love and loving relationships as the heading for each slide that's going to talk about love and loving relationships, and then the heading for dating and mate selection, and then you would have all of your so dating and mate selection, and then you might have social exchange theories on the slide, and then the textbook, what it says, and then your example is the show demonstrates, and then an image of that occurring. So you really want to tie all of those all of those pieces together, right? So vocabulary word and or definition, then you're going to have how the show demonstrates that, and then you're going to have the topic that it falls under, and then an image representing a visual representation of what that looks like. And then you're going to record your voice over that slide, and you are going to be talking about this wonderful show, American Housewife, which I will be honest, never have watched. So what I do is I go in and I have to binge watch a couple of shows so that I understand who Katie and Greg are, and if in fact the relationship that is being depicted in the presentation is truly meeting the textbook definitions for each area. So it really just kind of correlates everything. I also don't need to binge watch, but I like to know what you guys are talking about as far as feeling included in whatever media you select. As I'm able to, if you're talking about consummate love, I'm able to take the example that's provided, and then I could give feedback. but I do like a little binge watching once in a while, so it makes me happy. But in a nutshell, that's what I'm looking for. This one is a very detailed outline, very detailed outline. So you may not have been as detailed in yours, but that's okay, because in your presentation, you will want the page number. You will, if it's a direct quote, in text quotation. And then when I looked at everyone's motifs, I thought, wow, some of us have a harder movie or show than others. When I think of motif, it's something that really represents what that movie is about. And so if you go here and you look at the motifs on, of course, my computer wants to be very slow. But if you look at the motifs, that examples that I gave you, I think Rocky, it would be, oh, here we go. Yep. So Rocky, then you've got Friends. This would be Married with Children. There's always Full House, The Red Balloon, It. You always will have some sort of a visual representation that will take you to what show that is. Now, depending on your age, you might know of Rocky and you may not know of Rocky. But I tried to use some updated ones as well as some earlier examples. So with that in mind, just make sure that you are picking the best motif that you can think of that represents your show, your movie, your song, your whatever you're choosing to do. Other than that, overall, everyone is just absolutely wonderful with their outlines, and I do appreciate the depth that was put into them. So this is just a helpful video of letting you know what I'm looking for on each slide. You can also see all of the examples in the media collage. There's this one, the Encanto one, I created as I was just trying to help everybody out. So hopefully you've reviewed that. And then there's the media collage from that 70s show. So when I'm talking about the correlation between the three, and when I say three, I mean the textbook, the show, and the images. So just, make sure that when you're looking at these, you're seeing like, okay, that's what she's looking for. Okay. This is an older presentation. I no longer use this author's book. I use a OER book, but it's the same process, right? So just making sure that you get your 15 areas or 15 quotes, your 5 different topics. That's what we're looking for. So thank you again, and I hope this is helpful.